How you doing, babe? Fanny, you happy? Damn, he smell like damn, he smell good, but it's like a lot on. He got a lot on whatever this fragrance is. Fix it, Jesus. It's like I just walked right in the cloud of it. How you doing, baby? When you get a minute, go to that. Wait, how you doing, baby? Happy Tuesday. When you get a minute, go to that YouTube channel, Shakenya. Hit subscribe. Look at some of the videos. And if you see something that you like, just hit share. Yeah, I'm on a mission. Ooh, shit. Everybody scared the hell out of me. Oh my God. Oh, I can't get him back here. Okay. So guys, I think the conversation we had yesterday, we touched on so many different things and elements that I think we're gonna ride that out for the rest of this week. Because as I look through the syllabus, a lot of the topics that I want to touch on, I think we can pull it out of the conversation that we had yesterday. Yup. Let me get situated. Give me a second. I'm working on that bathroom. I'm sanding that ceiling. I done skimmed it. Now I'm sanding it. And I pulled that floor up and put the floor down today. I painted the tile. I used some ceramic floor paint. Yeah, it came in a little box with 2 little quart cans, and it actually can paint a whole a big area, because my whole bathroom pretty much is tile around the tub and around the walls. I have a small bathroom, but just know that the tile is all around, and that little can covered the whole area with 2 coats. So it was $70. I did not want to spend that, but I did not want to demolish my bathroom either, the ceramic tile. I didn't want to knock it out. I could have. I did that. Remember that bathroom we did? It gave me the idea, but I said, why do that when I could just paint over it? And it looks new. It looks nice. So I recommend you could paint your tile in your bathroom. So guys, we're going to pull from yesterday, because from yesterday we can pull questions. We can talk about communication from yesterday. We can talk about the adverse effects that some of this stuff has on your child as they grow and develop and become young adults. So we're going to stick with yesterday. I got a DM, which added on to it, and she heard the video from yesterday, and she asked me, why did I drop the baby off? Well, I tell you, we were going back and forth. Now, keep in mind, she's 15 and a half. Keep in mind, the way I run my household, you got freedom of speech, you got safe spaces, you got you first. Children come first. So therefore, it's never really time for a build-up of something, some sort. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't get to like, meaning that problems would have been solved along the way, to where it should never get to a point where it was just a build-up. And it seemed like that night, because I tell you, every night before school, he would be like, can she come stay with me? And then I'd be like, well, why does she have to come stay with you? You already see her on the weekend and the summer. And that'd be the gist of the conversation. No resolve, no reason why, but he would ask me, right? So this particular year, she's going to her 11th grade year, and I'm picking her up as I usually do the night before school. And he like, did you talk to your daughter? Did you talk to your daughter, right? He always would say that. Like, we would never have real conversations. Like, I couldn't understand, why was it so hard for us to just talk? It was no reason for us not to be able to talk. He had moved on, got married. I had moved on, probably got married twice. I mean, shit. It wasn't no reason for us to be beefed out. Like, I'm over here every Friday, bro. Like, I'm not mad at you. I'm glad that we separated and divorced, because the marriage was not healthy. Like, I've gotten over it. I've found closure. I've healed. Like, what the fuck, bro? There was no reason for us to be beefed out. But he made it seem like it was so hard for him just to talk to me about stuff. It was so hard to resolve issues. It was just so hard. And I couldn't understand it. So he would say that. So when I go to pick her up, she mad. You mad. You wanna argue. You mad. I can't argue with you. And I couldn't understand why we was going back and forth. And we was going back and forth because she said she just want to stay with her dad. She just want to stay in one house, right? Just want to stay with my... But why do you want to just stay with your dad? We doing so good here. She couldn't give me a definite reason. If she could have gave me a good reason why, I wouldn't have had no problem. Hey, Shannon, I wouldn't have had no problem. That's one thing when it comes to parenting. There is no pride in parenting. And I'll explain. There is no pride when it comes to parenting. Everything you do as it relates to the child is you putting the baby first and what's the best for the baby. That's it. That's it. So everything you do, every decision you make, it got to be what's best for the baby. So every time I would ask why, he could never give me a reason. So me and her in the car going back and forth, and she couldn't give me a reason either. When it comes to a child being removed from a home or being removed from a parent, or if there's a lifestyle change, you gotta have reason for that. Like for instance, in my situation, she was in a home with me Monday through Friday with them on the weekend, so you would classify me as the primary caregiver. He had a big issue with that title because I'm the primary caregiver. He wanted to be that so bad. But that's just mainly her primary needs throughout the week are being met by me. But you still respect it as dad. You still get your time, your visitation as dad. Nothing has changed. You can call whenever you want. I mean, I even took her over here in the week, during the week sometimes. If she want, I've never denied him access to that child. He left us on a Wednesday. She was over there Friday. Okay, let me stay on task. So I was mad, so me and her went back and forth. So I dropped her off over there because I knew that if I would have took her home, I probably would have had to put hands on her. I had made it a practice not to whoop no more. You know what I'm saying? I had whooped with the boys. I had jobs in between that time that had sent me to different workshops to where there were different ways to discipline children that I realized and found out. Hey, Koya! Hey, Cynthia, shout out from Flint, Michigan. So it's other ways to discipline your children and don't have to be physical. So when it came to the girls, I ain't had to put my hands on them. We had such a good communication and a good flow of things and energy and whatnot to where I ain't even have to put my hands on them. But I knew that night I probably would have. Because she raised her voice at me. She ain't never raised her voice at me, right? And then you got to think about it. During that time span, within a 6-month period, it seemed like stuff was just happening. Like it was all orchestrated. We'll get into that later. So yeah, going back and forth. So when I dropped her off that night because I thought I was dropping her off to a safe space. You got to keep in mind, this is her dad. This is somebody that I done raised her with. This is somebody that I drop her off every Friday. So to drop her off for the night and pick her up from school the next day was the plan, right? It wasn't to drop her off and then I'm done and that's it and I don't want to be no mama no more with him. I was always against her staying with him. Always against it because there was no structure and discipline in that household over there. If he gave me a good reason why she needed to stay with him, if it was a good enough reason, if it was for the best of the baby, I would have went with that. But it wasn't. There's no structure and discipline over there. He wasn't even able to take her to school. My job, every job that I have gotten had to be flexible enough for me to be able to take my kids to school and pick them up. My children were all involved in after school activities. I got to have that flexibility. So all my jobs has been like social work jobs or jobs to where I'm able to leave and come and go as I please because I got to pick my babies up. I got to take them to school and I got to pick them up. So I've always made sure I would even take a job that paid less for the flexibility. So therefore, it was no reason for a lifestyle change. It was no reason for her to go stay with him. It was no reason why we couldn't keep the same arrangement as it was for the next 2 years until she graduated, right? So, and I'm going to tell you it's a difference. And I'm going to tell you why I say there's no pride in parenting. Because I think I covered all of that, even though it's a little jumbled. I think I jumbled around with it a little bit, but I think I caught it. So I'm going to just jump back over here to the no pride in parenting part. And I'm gonna give you an example. Although there was no reason for her to go and stay with him, and I only dropped her off for a cooling down period, never heard from her really after that again. I know, ain't that sad? That's some sad shit to drop your baby off and then you don't hear from your baby no more after that. And then the next time you see your baby ain't got no words for you. Your baby treating you like you just a piece of shit, somebody on the street. I've been in the same room with my child and she ain't even spoke to me, wouldn't even look my way. What did I do that deserves so much disrespect? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. What could I have possibly done that deserves so much disrespect? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. When we first got divorced, he wouldn't take the kids to school. He wouldn't take my other daughter to school. He said that ain't his baby. So even though he was the person that was taking to school, remember when I told you guys you got to come up with a safety plan when y'all break up? And sometimes y'all might have to keep the same responsibilities that you had in the marriage even though y'all broke up. Yeah, if that was a job that you was doing, taking the babies to school in the morning to make sure the other parent can work and do all that stuff, even though y'all mad at each other and y'all broke up, you still might have to do that for a minute. Yeah, that might be a part of the safety plan to where you still might have to do that for a minute until that parent gets situated. Yeah, why destroy that other parent like that? You know if you don't take the baby to school, that parent gonna be late, probably lose their job. Why you want to mess up their livelihood? They taking care of your baby. Fix it, Jesus, fix it. So yeah, he was making me late for work, so he wouldn't take the baby. So I reached out to my other daughter's father, and I let him know what the situation was. I talked to him and his wife, and we came up with an arrangement to where she go stay with him Monday through Friday, and I get her on the weekend. Yep. I know I'm the mom. I know that's my job. I know that. But I was being late to work. She was being late to school. You forgot my kids had perfect attendance certificates. We had to keep that going. So we came up with that arrangement. So she can get to school, I can get to work. And we did that for a couple months. But let me tell you, my relationship with my baby didn't change. It strengthened the relationship between me and the baby daddy and his wife. Me and her had a wonderful understanding as far as how to discipline this baby, and the things that my baby needed, she provided. We had only thing she couldn't do was hair. And that was all right by me because that was the quality time I spent with my babies is when I did their hair. Yep. So that's why I take such joy when I be doing them little girls' hair, because it brings me back to when my babies was little like that and I was French braiding their hair. I still had the beads from when I was doing their hair. I know. So yeah, so I would do her hair, and when I sent her back Sunday, her hair would be done. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't have to worry about that part. But all her clothes, I would pack them up, send them over there or whatever. So it was like we had a beautiful arrangement for a couple months until I got my schedule changed at work. It was a need for that lifestyle change. Why? Because I couldn't perform my duties. I couldn't get to school on time. I couldn't get to work on time. It was impossible. So I needed them to intervene and come in and do what they needed to do, which was keep her during the week, make sure she get to school. Her lifestyle didn't change much. It was just a different household. And the arrangement was real smooth. But that was something that us as adults talked about. We discussed and we worked it out. And this is what we came up with. This situation with him wanting her to come stay with him, what the fuck for? It was no reason for her to go stay with him during the week. I'm able to get her up every day. I'm able to take her to school. I'm able to pick her up. I'm able to take her to her after school practices. She was in volleyball. She was in basketball. She was in golf and cheerleader. My other baby was in volleyball and basketball. And when I tell you, I worked that baby all week. We was at practices on time. We was at school on time. I was at both the girls' games. Why interrupt that flow? The nigga was jealous of me when we was married, and I'm quite sure that peaked off into the parenting part because I wasn't missing a beat, baby. I'm catching balls in the air. Fix it, Jesus. You got to keep in mind, I've been a parent since I was 16 years old. Keep in mind, I got custody of my two other younger brothers when my mama died. Keep in mind, I've been raising children for a minute, so I got the experience. So yeah, I'm catching balls in the air. I'm putting my hand on the corner of the table because I see you about to hit it. I see, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm a mom, right? So why was it so much opposition? Why was it so much competition? Why was it so much opposition? Why was it so much? When I'm doing a good job being a mom, she was excelling. She was the top of her class, and she was in a prestigious high school here. She couldn't have did it without me. Fix it, Jesus. So why take that away from me? Why is it so much? Yeah, it wasn't no need for a lifestyle change in that situation. So when I dropped her off just to cool off. I didn't drop her off because I couldn't take care of her. I didn't drop her off because I needed them to intervene. I didn't drop her off because I needed that change. We didn't need that. It was no need. But he was all he had always been an unnecessary ass nigga. You know, some niggas is just like that, just unnecessary. And I'm sorry to use the N-word, but that's what I think about when I think of him. And there's some other choice words that come to mind that I will not speak on Coffee and Conversation, but we're just gonna roll with that. Unnecessary. He was unnecessary. He always liked to change the game in the ninth inning type person. So here he is. She got 2 more years to go. I've been doing all this heavy ass lifting all these years, and then he just want to swoop in and take credit. When I tell you at her senior penny, him and the grandma there, like that's his woman, like that's the baby mama. She ain't had no place there. I had did all that heavy lifting all that time. She didn't have no place there. I should have been there at the senior penny, right? Moving past all of that, there's no pride in parenting. You do what's best for the baby. So when it was time for her to go stay with my other daughter, go stay with her dad because I couldn't get her to school, I had to put my pride aside. Yeah, I'm the mama. Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this and doing that. But baby, I needed them. And they was there for me. And they was there for that baby. So it was an easy transition. She came back. I got my schedule changed. Boom, we good. This particular situation right here, it was no need for the lifestyle change. I would have been able to take her to school and pick her up and take her to practice all the way until she graduated. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was no need. So when it comes to a situation like that, you just doing stuff, that's part of the abuse. That's part of the manipulation techniques that's being used. And that's part of the abuse, because if there was no need for the lifestyle change, there's no need to uproot this child. You're only doing it for personal reasons. That's part of the abuse, right? And it adds to the convolution and the confusion that the child has as they grow up. And it also interferes with their growth and development. Like, y'all got to think before y'all start ripping these parents out. Think about it. Look at me. All the stuff that I'm doing, I was doing when me and him was married. I've been amazing. Why would you deprive her of that? Why would you deprive her of learning from somebody as amazing as me? Huh? Who gonna teach her all the stuff that I could possibly teach her? He had to put about 5 or 6 ladies in place. 5 or 6 ladies in place to do what me, just one person, did. Right? Because that's how amazing I am. So yeah, it was all personal. When you remove those children out these parents' life for personal reasons, there's no abuse or neglect. It's abuse. Yep. If you remove a child from a parent's life and there's no abuse or neglect, it's abuse. Right? So that's it for Coffee and Conversation, y'all. I think I covered everything. Yeah, because remember, we still working on the questions. One of my questions was, why would she even want to be separated from her mom? I look at all these kids that be thriving, and not thriving, but they be crying, and they be struggling because they want their mom's affection and attention, and they want their mama in their life and this and that. And here it is, she had one and made a conscious choice not to want to be abused. Think about how much abuse was put in for a child to feel like they don't need a mama. What child don't need a mama? Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Fix it. Yeah, that's it, y'all, for Coffee and Conversation with your girl. We're going to use this scenario all week. We're going to break it down. We're going to pick it apart. And we're going to pull from it. So, y'all, that's it for today. I'm out. Who jumped in? Make sure I give y'all some love. Hey, Mina. How you doing, boo? Good morning. Okay, I think I got everybody, y'all. I'm out. Mwah.